What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another daily show. It's a packed one because it will start off with some depressing news concerning Milik and McKennie, and actually not just them, but mainly them because they are reluctant to leave. They don't want to leave at this moment in time, and that's a massive issue for Giuntoli. We have a big update on Todibo. Also, we need to talk about Jadon Sancho a little bit because he's back in training, and the people who want Sancho are in panic mode because he's back in training. And then there is also an interesting update on Facundo Gonzalez, who plays for us. I think people forgot about that, but he plays for us. And there is an interesting update concerning him that we will discuss. But before we do that, as always, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and let's dive into the McKennie and Milik story to begin with. Okay, we will start off with the McKennie news and the Milik news because we know they're both players that need to leave the club, especially McKennie, who was very close to, or actually was he very close to leaving Aston Villa. He said no to Aston Villa, which forced the club, or like they needed to sell Barnechea to get Douglas Luiz in. But the point is that McKennie is done. You know, the club made that clear. I think he's a player that if he comes to return to training, I don't think the club will actually allow him really to train full-time with the team. That's a feeling I have because of how the Aston Villa thing kind of unfolded and the way he tried to get money from the club and whatever. You know, I don't think that went down very well with Giuntoli. But the news is from Frosinone Padula, which is a good one. And he says that the two most complicated situations currently involve Milik and McKennie, not due to the lack of offers, but because both players are currently reluctant to leave. Now, I believe they will leave at the end, especially McKennie. With Milik, I have an issue that if the club cannot move him on, they will be fine with keeping him just as the backup. I think like the club is willing to let him go or want to let him go, but they need to find a backup as well. I think in that case, it's like, okay, you will remain the backup for one more season. I think they can deal with that much better, also because of the relationship they have. They can move McKennie because he's out of contract and he still has a relative high transfer fee, and we need to make up some money we pay for him. But he said no to Aston Villa, and that's the weird part. It's like, okay, you said no to a Premier League club who plays Champions League football, who probably will compete again for Champions League football next season. Where does that leave you in the future? Where do you actually want to go? I know there's talks about offers from Inter Miami, from the MLS. I think he will get that. He will get big money in the MLS because he is the poster boy for the national team, which tells a lot about the national team. You know, it's not a high quality national team, the USF, with all due respect. But that's it. You know, it's Inter Miami. Yes, I saw Fenerbahce or Galatasaray. But again, if he said no to Aston Villa, I think the MLS is the next option. Back to home, I guess, but you leave Europe for home, that's kind of it. You know, I don't think you have a choice or like a chance to really come back and do your thing here in Europe. So I'm confused. You know, with him saying no to Aston Villa, I'm so confused. If he's playing on a free agent contract, I think that will not go down well with the club. I think they will just freeze him out. And then, do you really want to do that? You know, so it's a very difficult situation because the club definitely wants to move him out. We need the money, but if he's saying no to offers, then the club is kind of forced to again move out other players or delay signing their main targets, which puts the deal in danger because clubs you're trying to sign main targets from are basically saying, well, it's too late now. We cannot replace him, so it's not going to happen. You know, we're not at that stage, but it could be. So McKennie and Milik, concerning situation because right now they're basically saying no to every single offer. Now let's move on to more positive news, and that's Todibo, again from Frosinone Padula. He's saying that the contacts with his agents keep going. Actually, there's an agreement on 2.5 million plus bonus. That's almost double, more than double that he's earning now. Again, the wage is perfect. It's cheap. You know, he's a good player. Has he the upside of Calafiori? No. Is he the best of defenders? He's not poor, by the way, but like he's not, oh my god type of. But he's good in possession. He's highly rated. He can still develop a lot. You know, Giuntoli likes him. Motta likes him. the contract is cheap. But Padula is saying that, he wants to join Juve, and that's a good, that's a strong point. But now you need to go and talk to Nice, which is not going to be easy. I know we have a good relationship with them, with the Thuram deal, but they want to close to 40 million. The club's not really willing to spend that. I think it's more close to 30 million the club wants to spend, and that's a big gap to bridge. They're interested in Nonge, we know that. But how much do they value Nonge? How much do we value Nonge? I saw early on in the window, it was like 5 million. Is that enough to drop the price? It's a situation to keep an eye on, especially because Alfredo Padula is also saying that Rugani is very open to leave, for is it Qatar League or the Saudi League? I'm not even sure right now. But the club also kind of told Rugani that you can actually leave, and if you leave, it's better. Then you definitely need to sign Todibo. Huijsen is quote unquote closer to a move if it's PSG or what. So you need the main target, you need a defender, and he is the one. You have an agreement with him. Now you can go to Nice again and now, kind of force him a little bit, to do something with the price, because you can tell, hey, the player wants to leave. We have an agreement. We paid for Thuram, even though he has a free agent next season. Maybe you can use that. You like Nonge? Do you want Nonge? That's the situation. But the first step has been taken, as we did with Calafiori, with Colt Miners, with all these players. You agree terms, and then you go to the club and say, okay, what do you want or what do you need to let the player go? And that's what the situation is right now. Now let's move on to Sancho, because he's back in training with Man U, and everybody was in uproar saying, oh, he's gonna stay. It doesn't mean he's gonna stay. It's preseason. He needs to show up. Man U could have said train separately, and they did that in the past, but I think they have come to a stage where it's like, okay, we need to protect this. We need to protect the value, the asset here. We cannot say we want 30 plus million, but he's training with the reserves, or it's not in preseason. That's also poor from the club. Everybody knows probably they want him out, they patched up things with Danak, fine. They got Zirkzee, they have Garnacho, they have Rashford, they have Højlund. Is he going to play? They have Diallo. Is he going to play that much? I'm not sure, especially like he could have said sorry to Tanak, but I think it's a no-go. They have Anthony as well. So still the situation is the same in my opinion. And Padula saying the situation is the same, He's still on the market. Juve hopes that no offer other comes in, because they are strong in their position, saying that we want him on loan with an obligation, but only if he plays that amount of games or whatever, So they're kind of hoping that no other team comes in and up the offer, because the club is not willing to go in a bidding war for Jadon Sancho. And then you have an issue like they had with Felipe Anderson. They thought they had him, gone, and now you're kind of stuck with what are we going to do, because they planned on that. And he also said Sancho has given his availability to join Juve, but first we need to sell. Going back to McKennie, Milik, Chiesa, all those players who need to go out, apparently, according to the club, but are not willing to go out right now or not that fast. So that is holding up a lot of things. A Sancho, maybe a Colt Miners, maybe a Todibo. That's the situation right now, and somehow, some way, these players need to be convinced by other teams to join them. But Sancho, same situation. Then Cancelo update. Again, I saw Matteo Moretto was a good source saying that he rejected European clubs and whatever. He didn't reject us. He wants to say Barcelona, or that's a priority, but Barcelona are not willing to pay. And Jorge Mendes is pushing Juve, putting pressure on Giuntoli to take Cancelo back. However, at this moment in time, the club is saying, no, we don't need him. We have other priorities. And that's it. I don't think, that's a deal. The club's like, yeah, last 2 weeks we will take Cancelo on a loan if Man City is open to that. But at that stage, I think he already found the club. So I think that's a non-story right now. I don't think he's coming back, unless he actually has no offers with 2 weeks left. And the club is like, here, Man City, 2 million, no obligation. We take him on, or 5 million, you pay the wages. I don't know, something like that. And we will take him on for the season. That's the type of move. If it gets done for Juve, it will be done. He's also being offered to Inter. Inter are also not really right now. So what is going to happen with Cancelo? We don't know. The issue right now for Cancelo is he has big time wages, and Man City will still want a good amount of transfer fee that clubs are not willing to pay, because they know you want Cancelo out, we're not paying, so you figure it out. So right now, keep an eye on that, but I don't think it's a deal that's actually that imminent at all, like Padula's saying. And then to wrap up the show, Facundo Gonzalez back in training, according to Mirko Natale, impressing Thiago Motta. However, The plan is he will go out on loan. I saw Di Marzio a month ago or 3 weeks ago say, hey, he is close to Udinese on loan with an obligation. That completely died right now. He will leave the club right now. Is it on loan? Is it not on loan? We don't know. A lot of players are impressing, according to the media, but also a lot of these players are not going to be here, so I'm not really sure what that means, to be honest. I think Facundo Gonzalez still needs time, but if the club can get a transfer fee, I think they will take it and they will move him on. That's how I view the situation, but we will see. Let me know in the comments what you think about the McKennie and Milik situation, but just in general, players holding up deals in incoming department, and also Toribo, Sancho, and Cancelo, especially Cancelo. Do people actually want Juve to pay money for Cancelo? Because that's a big question if they actually want to bring in Cancelo. But yeah, let me know, like the video, and I will speak to you guys very soon. Ciao.